What's going on, guys? Mile High back at it with another video. Today we're going to be going over this Super Valk army again that I went over yesterday, but these are actually going to be Legend League attacks. I liked how it worked out in the friendly challenges, so I did take it into Legend League, and it did really well. I went plus 296, and I did have a time fail, and then I actually had my very first attack of the day was a disconnect, which is unlucky. I'll show you that real quick. Yeah, I had a 78% because I had a disconnect early, and I didn't even get to use my Warden ability or anything like that. And then my only other fail was a 97% time fail. So it worked out really well. 296 first time using it. Pretty effective. So here's the army. You guys can tweak it if you want, obviously. Let me know in the comments if you guys tweak any equipments or anything and if it works out better for you guys. So we're going to go hop into our first attack. Alright, so what you're looking to do is just set a funnel with your Royal Champion. You're just trying to break the ring of defenses just like you would with a Root Rider attack. So we're thinking where we want to come in from here. We do have both of our army camps, the friendly army camps up at the top. But I'm going to come in from the bottom down here, pathing kind of this monolith section. If we get the monolith, that's really good, but if we don't get the monolith, it's not the end of the world. It is a pretty good target to get, but with this many Super Valks, you just have a lot of protection for your heroes. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get it. And it should path to the monolith next, and for some reason it goes right. I swear that monolith was closer, but I guess we're not going to get the monolith. But at the end of the day, we're breaking the ring of defenses, which is basically all I was trying to do anyway. Is you want to set up the pathing for your Super Valks. Now we're going to kind of path in back towards the monolith, but I don't think we're going to get the monolith, obviously. Oh yeah, we're out of invises anyway, so we just recall out. And we're going to be able to pick up, we're going to drop a couple Super Valks down here to start funneling, but we're going to be able to pick up that friendly Kane from that army camp using the Queen's Giant Arrow. Unfortunately, it's going to die pretty much instantly to that single Inferno. But I didn't want to invest anything just to try to protect the Kane. So all we're doing is using the Queen with the Siege Barracks at the top with an Ice Golem. We use one wall break on them, and then we use the other two wall breaks on our middle troops, and we're sending the King with the main push because we need his Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball. So we're going to jump into the next layer, and then the King is to open the backside walls. So you're wall breaking the initial walls, then you're jumping over the next set of walls, and then you're using your King's Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball to open up the next part of the base. So we're pathing in here. Our King did get stuck on the outside of the base forever for some reason, but there we used his ability. We honestly used it a little bit early. I should have waited until now because we maybe could have opened up this compartment up here with all this stuff in it. But it wasn't guaranteed anyway. I wanted to use it on that TownHall compartment because there was a lot of damage there. But as you see, this base is pretty well crushed. We got our Valks from our Siege Barracks working up at the top. We picked up that Giant from the army camp. Our RC is just barely hanging on, but it's not going to matter. We have our Kane still alive. We have tons of Super Valks still alive. All of our heroes are still up. This base was absolutely crushed. And it's a really easy attack to use. That's why I like it, and it's really powerful. And again, it's off meta. I like using fun off meta attacks because, to be honest, I'm bored of spamming in Root Riders and Event Troops. So that's why I went to this. Let's go hop into another attack. Alright, on to another attack. We have double Poison Towers this time, which I've been running into a lot more recently. So I'm just trying to decide where I want to go in from with the Royal Champion. And really, it doesn't make that big of a difference. As long as you're setting pathing, even if you don't get a ton of value, if you set up the pathing, you can still easily 3-star. Because you just got to keep all your troops grouped up, so that way when your Super Valkyries are dying, you're getting the rage effect on your heroes and your healers. And then either way, your heroes can tear through the backside of the base as long as you keep everything grouped together. So we're going to take out this Ricochet Cannon here and charge in. There isn't a ton of value over here, but I came in from over here just to set the funnel because there was so much trash over here that my RC was going to be able to pick up with her Electro Boots. So that's why I came in from over here, and I do like to come in from corners most of the time so she can path one way or the other, and then we can just decide where to send our main push based off which way she goes. So I don't overthink it too much. Just kind of think on the fly based on which direction she goes. We're going to recall her out. Don't be greedy with that recall. You want to keep your Spirit Fox alive. It's really important. So we're going to use a couple of our Super Valks over here to start trimming this trash. And then we're going to use our Queen with her Giant Arrow, the Ice Golem, and the Siege Barracks over here. And then everything else in the middle. We'll get our Wall Breakers in. We have a really nice funnel set now. Our Siege Barracks is doing a good job over there setting that funnel. We picked up the Kane from the army camp. And I do like to go with a pretty early Warden ability to keep most of your Super Valks alive through the initial push, and that way they start dying off once they get into the core, and then you get all your rage effect from that. So I like to use the rage spell basically on the junction where I use the jump spell. That way you're pretty much guaranteed to get everything in that rage because everything's using that jump spell, and then even if they split off from there, everything's raged up. So there we hit our King ability, and that opens up every backside section of the wall. We open that monolith compartment. We took out the entire bottom compartment. Our siege barracks troops putting in work up here. For some reason, the healers switched over to them and off of the queen, but I guess that's no big deal. Our kane's in there tanking. Our king does go to Phoenix, but our queen's still full health. We use the RC ability down here. She's going to take out the rest of the defenses on that side. And this base is pretty well crushed. So we're going to 2x through this. As you see, still got some rage spells dropping from our Super Valks. We didn't really have any die in the core, which I guess really doesn't matter. I mean, if they stay alive, obviously it's not the end of the world. But if they die, it's almost even better because you get that raged effect on your heroes and your healers. Let's go hop into our third attack. All right, attack number 3. This is a very frustrating kind of base to attack. This is actually the style of base. It's not the exact same base, but it's similar to the base I've been running in Legend League for like 3 weeks now. And let me tell you, these bases defend better than any other kind of base I've used. So I'm trying to think to come in for the Royal Champion. I'm going to come in and pick up this Kane right away. And if you can do that, you can keep them kind of close together sometimes and keep them both invisible at the same time. Here it doesn't quite work out because my Royal Champion went up. But it's not going to matter. You're still going to get value out of that Kane because it's going to come back to its second stage. And now, as you see, they group up. So now I can kind of keep both of them invisible here for a little bit. So I basically have double Electro Boot auras right now, which is kind of insane. Just trimming out so many buildings here. Kane takes down that Ricochet Cannon. And the Kane does go down, but look how big of a funnel we set over here now. So many buildings went down. And if you can get them even closer than that and keep your Kane invisible for longer, like I've had some bases where I've been able to use like 5 or 6 invises that keep my RC and my Kane invisible at the same time. And let me tell you, the base is wrecked if you can do that. So now I'm trying to think where I want to come in from. It's tighter pathing down here at the bottom, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my Ice Golem over here, my Siege Barracks, to start trimming out all this stuff over here. The Giga Bomb is over there, so I'd rather trigger it with my Siege Barracks troops rather than my actual army. So we're going to break in here. That enemy queen goes down so quickly. We do lose one Super Valk, which is actually really nice because now we rage the entry into the base. Our queen's down here picking off the Super Dragon out of the enemy CC. That's why I like having Frosty, because it just slowed that dragon down so much. Oops, I accidentally pulled down that status bar. But we're pathing in pretty well here. It's taken a long time to destroy all this stuff on the outside here just because there was so much trash. But our Super Valks are nicely compact in the core. Still holding on to our King ability, which honestly I could have popped right there. But we should be able to pop it here in a second, and it'll open up the whole backside of the base. Yeah, it opens up the backside of the base. All the trash on the outside is going down. Royal Champion's going to path into the Town Hall, which will easily go down because our Fox is still full health. And we also still have her ability. That's why I like keeping the Fox alive, because if you can keep the Fox alive after your initial RC charge, it just keeps your RC alive for so long, getting all these cycles of invisibility. And now our Super Valks are starting to die off, so we basically have unlimited rage through the backside of the base, which is really, really nice. That's what I like about this attack. Look, we're going to have another one go down, and it's going to rage up this giant. Oh, it actually didn't go down. It somehow stayed up, but they're going to go melt the enemy yeeter. One of them dies, so then the next one gets raged up and just shreds through the enemy yeeter. And we pick up the 3-star. Our RC barely hanging on, but our queen's still full health. We still have a giant alive. That one was a little bit closer, but it was pretty comfortable because there was no defenses left anyway. So let's go find another attack. All right, on to our next attack. This guy actually has his army camps all the way in the core, which I'm starting to see more, obviously, in High Legend League. People trying to use those to their advantage. So I'm just trying to think where to come in from with the RC here. We're going to come in from the top corner. Like I said, any corner really works. I just prefer to come in from a corner. So whichever one you can identify has the most value, or whichever one will set the best pathing, that's what I would do. But like I said, the pathing is honestly more important than the value. So you don't want to get value and leave up a bunch of buildings that'll screw up your pathing. But as you see here, we're going to get the multi-gear cannon. And unfortunately, the Giga Bomb launches us back outside the wall. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to path to the monolith now. No, and we definitely won't be able to, because that Tesla is going to pull us over. So this pathing, honestly, didn't work out that well, because I wanted to get the monolith in both of those fire spitters, but I didn't want to use extra invises to try to push her in and then not get it anyway. So I just kind of went with the flow, let it go. We do get one fire spitter, which kind of broke the funnel there, which is actually really nice, because if that wouldn't have went down, we would have had a lot of trash buildings pulling our stuff over there. These are a queen with her giant arrow. That's mostly to trigger invis towers. We do get our ice golem with our siege barracks down there as well, and then everything else in the middle. The Frosty slows down that single inferno, so it doesn't do much to our queen. We'll jump over this compartment right here, which gives us access to the town hall, and also this compartment down here. Our king's still full health, pushing in. The one of the main things is trying to get your king into the core, because obviously you need his earthquake boots to open up the backside of the base. And he unfortunately gets locked onto by the monolith, which was supposed to go down into my RC charge. So if that would have went better, this would have been overkilled even more. But our giant should... No, our giant actually gets wrecked. Mostly takes out that fire spitter though, so our RC should be able to get it. And she does. Her ability pops. Did we get that? Yeah, we got the monolith. That's really nice. That's why I like the hogs, just to kind of distract for the RCs so we can get more value on the backside of the base. You see here, we have tons of Valkyries alive from our siege barracks. We still have a couple hogs coming out of our siege barracks too, which actually takes out the scatter shot by themselves. That is really clutch. Warden's still full health. We still have tons of Super Valks alive. Queen's still full health. We have all of our healers up. This enemy RC is about to get wrecked. Look how quickly that RC died. All them wizards from the siege barracks put in work. Single Inferno goes down. Ricochet Cannon is going to get wrecked. The Super Valks actually do a decent job at breaking through walls if there's a bunch of them. Obviously here, we kind of have a split, so some of them are attacking one wall and some are attacking another. So it is going pretty slow, but it's not too bad. We still have a Pekka alive from our siege barracks. We still have wizards up from the siege barracks, or Valkyries. That's why I really like using that Ice Golem with the siege barracks at the beginning, because you can keep your troops alive and they can get tons of value on the outside of the base. Our Apprentice Warden's actually still alive in there as well. And yeah, this, again, was extremely crushed. And as you saw, I'm not going to go through all the attacks, but I did go 6 for 8. One was a disconnect, so I'm really not going to count that. So I'm going to say it was 7 for 8. And it was one time fail because it was just really poorly executed. I didn't get a good funnel. So everything split off and a lot of stuff ended up dying. So it just really slowed the attack down. But yeah, this is a really fun attack. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this attack and how it works out for you guys. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time.